But it does.
Aloha, everybody, and welcome to our live where we're talking about a big shift that just happened. Rise Capital got us here, but Retoro Capital will take us further. I'm excited to announce that we have a new partner on the team, and we're excited to see what else you can bring. And just having a new face is always a great thing when it comes to a new company because I think she'll bring some fresh perspectives as well. My name is Sasha Smith with Retoro Capital. I was a fix and flipper for many years, a civil engineer before that. And I started investing in commercial real estate in 2022, invested in a few syndications, and then really just became a part of Rise or partnered on this fund because I wanted to help other people start investing more passively because I knew the challenges that comes with being an active investor. And so for me, it was really important having raised over $10 million on my own to then bring those people into this fund who not only the focus is, of course, getting returns for our investors, but also giving back to the community. So with that, I'll have Lisa introduce herself as well.
Oh, yes, I am Lisa Moore. Very excited to be a part of this team. My background, so I was in the corporate world as a financial analyst for almost 20 years and knew I wanted to get out of that. Started house hacking back in 2017. Got that addiction of real estate, and that just grew into multifamily and commercial and doing some passive investing as well. And as we've grown our portfolio, we love the active stuff, but also know the benefit of investing passively and having that balance of both. So I've known everyone on here for at least a couple of years. Chris and Harmony, I run the RIA with them in Utah, and we've done several things together over the last few years. So I was very excited to get to partner on this and join the rest of this amazing team. And the draw for me, just one, having worked with everyone on here, knowing everyone, knowing how they are, just wanting to be a part of that. But everyone, as Zasha had said, that wanting to give back, that wanting to help people, having a background of financial analysis, I am always wanting to make sure people are educated and understand their finances, their investments, their retirements, and make sure that what they're doing is going to help them achieve what they want, get them to their retirement, whether that's when they're 30, 40, 60, whatever it is, and living the life that they want to live. So I love that everyone on here was looking at this as, okay, how do we want to invest our own money? Because we all have money in it, and then be able to bring people in and help them benefit, help them invest passively and get that benefits of real estate. So I'm very excited to be here and be a part of this and see where we go with it. So thank you, Zasha.
Yay! Thank you, Lisa. We're excited to see where the rest of the year takes us. Half the year is already gone. So with that, we'll have Troy introduce himself, talk a little bit about him and also his wife, Emma.
Yeah, so me and my wife, Emma, my name's Troy. My wife, Emma, and I, we started investing in real estate about, we started a long time ago and didn't actually realize that we were doing it, kind of house hacking early on. And we started heavily investing in real estate about 6 years ago and started doing a lot of, started with fix and flips and went all the way through new commercial builds and commercial apartment buildings. And so kind of ran the whole gambit, and we found Chris and Harmony and founded the Rise Capital Club at one point, trying to just connect people with other people in order to make it easier to find deals and to find money. So Chris and Harmony, we met through there, and their ideals aligned with ours, and we were able to kind of help each other out. And so we decided, well, let's do this. And so we put together an awesome team that can take down these. And our goal is to just provide secondary sources of income for people so that they can pursue their interest in life and not feel like they're stuck doing what they have to do, and so they can do what they want to do. So with that, that's me. Kind of in a nutshell.
Thank you, Troy, for that. And him and his wife has been an integral part of this team as well, and do bring different strengths. So we appreciate you hopping on. And Troy is actually living in Alaska. Him and his family moved there for this summer to do something different. And I think that's the whole goal with our fund, is to be able to do what we want to do and have that flexibility and time to shift and to travel and to make the most out of life. And I think everybody on this team has those same initiatives and same drive, and we want that for our investors as well. So with that, I will introduce Harmony Borden.
Hello there. So former caseworker, did that for the military for 13 years. Then I was in the medical field for 10 years prior to that. And real estate has it's like looking from the outside of the box in now, because I'm not feeling trapped by what I should be doing, could be doing, or the things that you think about you want to do. It's really given a new form found of freedom, and it's a different freedom than I originally thought we could do. So I'm loving this adventure that we're on. We do a lot of different things. And the number one thing I can say with all of the different businesses and organizations we're a part of is trying to make your world, our world, the world in general, a little bit better tomorrow than it is today. And that's the goal of what we're doing, whether it's your wealth, whether it's philanthropy work. It's just trying to make things better. That's the fun part about it. And I can do it from anywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, perfect. And then with that, we'll have Chris share a little bit about himself.
A little bit about myself. I work, live, and breathe to serve my wife, Harmony. That's it. The mic drop.
We're recording this, right?
Extra points.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this in the background on our TV here at home.
In all seriousness, that is what I do. But on my second responsibility is to the team, trying to steer the ship in the right direction. Previous, I worked at W2, had the normal, I would say not the normal, but I would say typical aspirations and dreams of riding the corporate ladder and moving up, which I did. I was pretty successful at my previous career. Ran a relatively billion-dollar retail organization for. I was a CEO for 6 of the last years that I worked there. 7, I think, of the last years that I worked there. But I think I kind of started from the bottom management, worked my way up pretty quick, and I was in the D-suite and C-suite positions for almost 25 years. So pretty long career in retail. And again, the typical, you work hard, put your head down, try to do what's right, and you move the corporate ladder. And we had an epiphany. What has it been, about 4 or 5 years now, where we wanted to break away from the shackles of the 9 to 5. I think a lot of people aspire to do the same thing. And again, well, that wasn't Harmony's epiphany. That was more my epiphany. Harmony loved what she was doing, and she was absolutely upset with me for having my midlife crisis, or whatever it is. Probably later than midlife crisis. But we decided to move, got into real estate, met wonderful people along the way. That's how we met up with the group that we have here, through just different networking and opportunities, and just one thing led to another. We actually left our W-2s to sort of retire. Again, we wanted to break away from the monotony of work. My work was tough. I mean, retail is tough. It's 365 days a week, 24 hours a day. It never stops. Like there's no holidays. There's nothing. It's not a typical corporate job because retail is people, and we are in grocery retail, which makes it that much even worse because it's literally Christmas is open. You're having to work every single day of the year, which it took my toll over 30 years of doing it. Oh, almost 30 years of doing it. So. But real estate has been wonderful. Getting to know the people here has been wonderful. The journey has been just absolutely phenomenal, especially like Harmony said on the philanthropy side, the work that we get to do there. And I think in general, everyone shares the same sentiment there, just wanting to give back and be able to kind of like what Harmony said too, like just try to make people's situations that we come in contact to that much better than it was previous, whether it be through financial education, like Lisa talked about, or just bringing opportunities, which is what Harmony and I do in Africa, where we bring opportunities to people that just don't have those opportunities. And Zasha does a lot of it too, where she's trying to help with housing and in a very unaffordable market. So there's all of it where all of those components line up together, and it just, and again, we, like Lisa said, we want to be able to bring people along the journey with us.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think one of the things too that I took away was, when I was working as an engineer, and I was just on a plane yesterday with someone who was an electrical engineer who sat next to me, and was just explaining kind of what we do. And he's like, yeah, I'm not trying to leave my job. And I was like, oh, that is not the purpose of why we created the fund. The purpose was for people to have something to invest into, that they could have another stream of income and just to diversify. I think I wish I would have known about this while I was working my job. Maybe then I wouldn't have felt like forced to choose one or the other. And so I think the goal with, having this fun, having Retoro, is just to, like you mentioned, bring people along, but also just educate them on what their options are, right? Because you could have a really good job, you could love your job, but I think at the end of the day, if you want to have more options in life, you have to research other investments that are out there that could potentially lead you to, having more flexibility and time freedom in the end.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, we're just so like ingrained to just like put your money into retirements, 401k, IRAs, all these retirement vehicles, which are great. And you can invest through a self-directed IRA. And you can benefit and do that, invest in real estate through that. But a lot of people, they know that you can't touch that until you're 59 and a half or older with, Social Security and things. But a lot of times it doesn't hit people until, I've spoken to, I'm in Orlando right now, was just at a conference, spoke to quite a few people that it's just, they're getting to their 50s and thinking, well, I might be able to cut back, because retirement isn't just not doing anything. I consider myself retired. I retired from the W-2 world, but retired to me is spending my time how I want to and how I enjoy and what brings me happiness and what just energizes me. And doing this is one of those things. So it's just allowing people to live the life they want in retirement, but then they realize, oh crap, all of my money is in retirement accounts. I can't touch it till I'm 59 and a half. So having, like I said, you can invest through your self-directed IRA, but also investing outside of retirement accounts in real estate and things that can get you another income stream passively. That is, to me, just huge to be able to start to build that additional income for you. So if you do want to not necessarily retire and never work, but be able to, like our partners are doing, like, I want to go live in Alaska, check that out and work up there for a summer and travel around and do different things. Just have options, not be, I have to work my W-2. I have to stay there. I have no other option but to work a W-2 and until I'm 60s. We just want to make sure people understand and are educated on all the options that they have and the different things that they can do to reach the lifestyle that they want to achieve.
Awesome. Well, thanks. That is definitely something that we all strive for. So, why the name Retoro? Maybe Chris, you could kind of talk about what does that mean and how we came up with it.
A lot of ChatGPT. That's how we came up with it. A lot of ChatGPT and a billion names going back and forth. But so we wanted to change, right? There's change. I think a lot of times people are hesitant to change. I think oftentimes I love embracing change. Change, especially the uncomfortable side of change. When you get into the uncomfortable side of things, that's honestly where the magic happens, where you see true and real growth. But for us, the name had to do with that specifically, like just growth, and wanting to enter into something different. So, oh, look, there's some definitions. I was going to do it off the top of my head. Right on, Retoro. So it's kind of a conjunction of upside growth and return. Toro stands for bull. I mean, I think most people know that. And the bull, and obviously if you have ever watched the equity market, they describe the market in two different terms. One's a bear and one's a bull market. Bull market typically means that the market is going up. A bear market means the market is going down. And so on our view of alternative assets is looking at the opportunities to invest outside of the market on what we consider are probably, I mean, the way we have our fund set up, structurally, it's slightly safer. I mean, there's always inherent risk in any investment that you do, but the way we have it set up is more for safer diversification and higher returns, which is where the return and the bull come together, and form Retoro. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, the thought behind it. But again, ultimately, it was hours of ChatGPT coming up with different scenarios.
But I think it's like what aligns or what we connected with as well, right? I think because I mean I'm born in May. I'm a Taurus, so bull, like strong, just like unwavering and very stubborn, but also just being able to pull through. Because I think with any type of investment or just like any business, you have to just like go until the end, like go all the way through and not give up. And I think a lot of us share that same willingness to just get it done, get it done. So thanks for sharing that. Even though we changed the name, everything else is kind of our strategy is still the same. So I think Lisa had mentioned that one of the things that we do focus on is having people invest in kind of, it's called a debt investing, where you can invest into the fund and then make these 10 to 12 potential returns on lending out your money. And then you would get those returns. If you're investing your own funds, you could have immediate access without having any kind of having to wait till you're 59 and a half or till you retire to be able to use those returns, right? You would have to claim that income and there's other tax implications, but it's not as bad as investing and pulling those returns out from a retirement account. So I think that's something important that she did touch on, and it's backed by an asset. I feel like with real estate, it's a safer play, especially for a lot of investors, because it's not tied directly to the stock market, and the way that it performs is not instant. You don't see the instant impact. You will see an impact, but it will take a little bit of time, and it will give you a little bit more time to prepare for it. So that's something that I like as well. And what staying the same in our fund is that, like everyone mentioned, we're definitely focused on your family first, and we want people who are on the same page with wanting more freedom and wanting just more options in life. And those types of investors are what we seek. And for our fund at this moment, you do have to be accredited as well. So with that, I'll have Lisa talk about kind of what's new. What are some new kind of tools that we have for people or experiences that we have for them to kind of explore this type of investing?
Yeah, so we are always, like I said, I'm huge on education. I feel like I'm very lucky that I have the finance brain, and it just is something that I've studied and went to school for, got my master's in, things like that. So as I have ventured into the world and meet more people, realizing I I not everyone has the same thought process and understanding of finances as I do. So education for me is huge. So we are always looking for ways to educate anyone that invests with us or just anyone in general. We do these on these webinars and we do these lives to make sure that people just understand their options and figure out like what are they looking for, what are their goals. So that might be, hey, this fund works great for you, or it might be talking to them like, what, there might be something that fits you better, and refer you to other things. So um, we're more concerned about educating and making sure that people understand all of their options. So where I come in, I have operated assets. Everyone on here, that's one of the things. Another thing I liked about this group is everyone on here understands real estate. We've bought it, we've rehabbed it, we've done value adds, we've managed it. So we understand all aspects of it from start to finish. So one of the things that I'll be working on, the education, but also finding operators to work with. We want to make sure that anyone that we do invest with shares our values, shares our vision, and is a good operator and is going to be a good person that we can partner with. We would love to create partnerships with a handful of operators that we can just keep rinse and repeat investing with. So the fact that we have connections here in Utah, Hawaii, things like that, going to conferences. I was speaking at a conference here in Orlando and meeting potential operators and people that are looking to partner with capital partners like us to help them continue to grow, to continue to buy. So we have a diversification quiz. If you check out our website, there's resources on there as well. So you can go on and take some of those quizzes, find out where you're at, what is something that's going to fit for you. And then if you have questions, you can book a call with us. We'd love to hop on and talk to you about what you're looking for, what you're trying to do, what your goals are financially, but also lifestyle wise, and see if there's a way we can help you figure out what's a good avenue for you, and whether that partnering with us and investing with us is something that works. So we do debt, we do equity, and always looking for options and different, like I said, different operators to work with in different markets. So there's always, you go on to Facebook, you go on to Instagram, and you'll find people that say storage is the only thing to do, multifamily is the only thing to do, industrial is the only thing to do. Every niche has a time that's good to invest in. Always a good time to buy a great deal, but there's different cycles in different markets. So working with going into different niches and looking into different aspects of real estate allows us to always be making sure that we're investing and diversifying our portfolio, diversifying what we invest in, to just make sure we're always staying not necessarily ahead of the game, but making sure that we're always investing in things that are going to be good investments, going to be good for us, good for our investors. So being able to work with different niches and different operators is going to allow us to continue to take the benefits of whatever market might be in the good cycle to buy, good cycle to sell, things like that. So we're always looking at that. We're always making sure that what we're investing in is good at the time and is going to benefit us and what our ultimate goals are for this fund.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that was a good explanation of what we do have to offer. And each, like I said, each team member has different strengths. And so if you want to hop on a call with our team, if anybody on here has any other questions, you can put in the chat. Or Harmony, if you could kind of explain what some next steps for people that want to kind of know more about us.
Yeah, definitely. We want to schedule a call with us one-on-one. Let's figure out where you're at, where you want to be, and what that should look like for you. And as far as whether it's with us or we can help find other opportunities with you, go to partnerwithrci.com. You will find everything about us there, and you can book a call directly from there. That's also where we can get you going into our investor portal where you can see our deals, see the different types of deals we're in, and what each deal will look like. And, we get to find out if we're going to be a match for you or not. You want to download our new guide or investment overview, you can find that, or if we have the link here, I'm not sure if we have the magic link that's going to pop up for that one. But if not, you can find it on partnerwithrci.com. And then share this live with others, especially when you're looking for safer alternative investments. Everything, like Chris says, has risk to it. But anywhere you can mitigate that risk while you're diversifying that's just, it's great. And we like to stay in that comfortable, fun, sexy part of returns. And that is the new sexy. I keep hearing that at all the conferences, right? Is these comfortable returns. And they say, well, everyone's doing debt now. Well, we were doing debt the whole time. And this is why it's been comfortable for us. It's not something we're jumping into. It's something that we were all doing before we came to the fund. And it's something that we do now with our investors. And it's just a new comfortable place to be for those who are not into it yet. Let's find it for you and see where you're going to have a good fit. We have a lot we're doing.
Yeah, and I'm excited for this next half of the year. Half of the year is gone already, and we still got half more of 2025 to go. So if you even are just curious, we would love to hop on a call with you and just kind of walk you through some of your options. And I think, just educating yourself, keep showing up, keep watching these lives, keep, staying in tune with what's happening in the market, but don't be scared. I think too, when I was in my job, like Lisa had mentioned, I always knew, okay, graduate, you go to college, you get a good job, you invest in your retirement, and then everything will be good until you get older. But until I seen other people like what we're doing, sharing about how they were living their lives, I started to think outside the box and get comfortable being uncomfortable, because this is a different way of thinking, but also has led me to such a different life that I love and I never looking back. But I think for anybody who is just curious, we would love to hop on a call with you, like Harmony said, and just talk story with you, just kind of see where you're at. And, who knows where life can take you. But I think just looking back on it's halfway through the year, try to look back on your goals to like, okay, how do I want to end this year? What do I want next year to look like? How can I do things differently to get me to those goals? Or even if it's something like traveling more, or I remember when I was working, it was like I only had, I think it was like 10 days of vacation a year. And so I only used to travel like once a year. And now I'm traveling like I feel like every other week. And so for me, that was super important. I wanted to get out there because I think you have more options once you start looking and educating yourself on what those different ways you can invest could be. So we're here for everyone. If Chris, you want to say any last words to wrap us up?
You guys mic dropped it a long time ago. I think.
Well, I also think it's important for people to realize, even if they're like, I'm not sure if I'm accredited, I don't know what accredited is. There's a lot of people that don't realize what accredited is and can mean for them. We're not accredited. Get on a call with us, because you might be a lot closer. You might be there already than you realize. And this is what we can help you discover. So if anything, if you didn't plan out your goals for the year and you're just kind of winging it, let's sit down and help you narrow down what it is, have that conversation. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you once you realize what you've been missing out on.
I think one of the things that I like too, because I do say it a lot, like at the end of the day, realistically, no one's going to care more about your money than you do. So as much as we want to say like book a call, I mean, it's really up to you to take action. I mean, if you want to look back, like again, I think we probably all of us here have regrets of not starting it sooner. Yeah, I think we all do. Like I definitely, I wish I started again, kind of like what Troy said, Harmony and I, we actually bought our first house. I think she was 18 or
19.
something.
Yeah.
When we bought our first house, so we were young, and we weren't intentionally investing. We were, because we ended up renting it out, and one thing led to another. We bought several houses, but it wasn't intentional. I really wish that we would have got intentional with it. And I guarantee you, if you ask most investors out there, 90% of them are going to say the same thing. There's always opportunities. I remember seeing Cody Sanchez talk about how horrible real estate is. Literally said that. And I can split an onion a million different ways. Like there's just so many different ways to split an onion. Invest and to be able to invest. But I think regardless of the way you're looking at doing it, I think the best thing is just do something. Like doing nothing is probably the worst thing to do. So whether it's with us, whether it's buying a business, whether I still love real estate. I think real estate. I still do the equity market as well. I think Lisa does a bit of it too. But I actively invest in the equity market. I do small caps, large caps, and some other caps in between that I wish I never did do. But I mean, even venture capital as well, even startups. We do investment in there, but and then you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, but it's still overall better than not doing anything. And I think that's the biggest issue is people just have a retirement, like someone says, or have money on the side. We were just talking to someone yesterday or recently at Harmony, and somebody was frightened to move their money because they were deathly afraid of investing and not understanding that even not doing anything like the velocity. Lisa and I were on a podcast a few weeks ago. We were talking about the velocity of money, and again, how money today is not worth the same as money tomorrow, and everyone knows that, right? You can't buy what I could buy 10 years ago is not what I could buy with the same amount of money now. So I think just taking action, regardless of what that is, if it's with us, great. If it's not, just try to get yourself educated because at the end of the day, no one's going to care more about it than you do. So, and hopefully we have a whole bunch of people here that's listening that care about their money, care about what they want their life to look like. So that's what we're hoping.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, with that, we'll wrap it up. And like Harmony said, if you guys have any other questions, go to partnerwithrise.com. We'd love to help you just kind of look at what options you have. Oh, partnerwithrci.com. And we would love to just see and help you with your next steps.
Yep. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.